In this video, we're going to solve more complex mensuration problems, for example, frustums. There's nothing new to learn in this objective, it's just harder problems than what you would get at M3 level. So starting the question number 1, we've got to find the volume of the frustum, which is this sort of coloured in shape, looks like a lampshade. The best way to describe a frustum is it's a large cone minus a small cone if we're thinking about the volume. So to find its volume, the volume of the frustum is equal to the volume of the big cone minus the volume of the small cone. The volume of a cone is a third pi r squared h. So a third times pi times the radius for the large cone, the big one, is 15, times the height of the large cone, which is from here to here, which is 36. Minus the volume of the small cone, that's a third times pi times the radius squared, which is 5. If you imagine that smaller cone there, its radius is 5. And its height, the height of that small cone is 12. That works out to be 2,600 pi, or to 2dp, that is 8,168.14 centimetres, or millimetres in this case, millimetres cubed. And then part B, we've got to find the surface area of the frustum. So there are 3 surfaces, the smaller circle, the larger circle, and then this curved surface area. So if we write down the total surface area would be pi r squared, pi times, let's go with the larger one first of all. That'll be pi times 15 squared. Then plus the area of the smaller circle, which is pi times 5 squared. Plus, and then we have to get this curved surface area. Might be easiest to get this here in a separate equation and then put it in here. So how do we find out this curved surface area? Well, this curved surface area is the curved surface area of the large cone minus the curved surface area of the small cone. So if I write down the total curved surface area is the curved surface area of the big cone minus the curved surface area of the small cone. Surface area for a cone is pi rl. For the large cone, pi times 15 times the length. We don't know the length, do we? We don't know this slant height. So that's another problem we're going to have to work out. So to do that, I'm going to consider this large triangle and draw it out here. It's got a height of 36, a base of 15. I want to work out the slant height, L. It's the hypotenuse, so I can say that L squared is 36 squared plus 15 squared. L squared is 36 squared plus 15 squared, 1,521. So L is the square root of that, which is 39. So the slant height's 39, so we can put 39 in there. Minus then the curved surface area for the small cone, which is also pi rl, but this time the radius of the small cone is 5. And the slant height for the small cone we don't know. You could do the same idea, draw a triangle here and do Pythagoras theorem, but you might notice that all the dimensions are 3 times smaller. So the radius was 15, then it was 5, the height was 36, and then it was 12. So all dimensions are divided by 3 to stay in the same ratio, and it's because they are similar shapes. It sort of goes into M8 a bit, but if you aren't sure, you can just use your Pythagoras again. But we worked out that the large slant height was 39, so the small slant height would be a third of that, which would be 13. That works out to be 520 pi. So we can add on here. We had our bottom circle, our top circle, and then the curved surface area. We just found out 520 pi. To put that all in the calculator, that gives us 770 pi, or 2419.03, and that's millimeters squared. Okay, number 2. Here is the net of a cone. Find the volume of a cone. So if this is the net of a cone, what will happen is this radius and this radius will join together, and as you pull that together, it'll create a height in the from a 2D shape into a 3D shape. This will then form the circumference of the base circle of the cone. So eventually it'll look like this here. So what things match up? If this is 15 is the radius, when you pull that together, that becomes the slant height of the cone. You might want to actually get this yourself and cut it out and then put it together so you can see how this works. Let's work out the arc length. Formula for arc length is L equals theta over 360 times pi d. In this question, the angle is 216. And the diameter, if the radius is 15, the diameter would be 30. That gives you 18 pi. So 18 pi is the arc length, but as we join A and B together, that becomes your circumference of the circle. So we now know that the circumference of that base circle is 18 pi. This circle and this circle are two different things. This arc length is 18 pi, this circumference is 18 pi. The radius of this one is 15. The radius of this one is going to be smaller, and we can work it out using C equals pi d. If C equals pi d, and we just worked out that the circumference is 18 pi, that means that 18 pi equals pi d, or the diameter of this circle at the bottom of the cone would be 18, or its radius would be 9. Is that enough to find out the volume of the cone? Well, if you're not sure, you can just start plugging it in, and if it's not, we'll see if we need to work out anything else. The volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. 1/3 times pi times its radius squared, which we now know is 9, so 9 squared, times the height. Now we do not know the height of this cone, but hopefully we've got enough information. Let's change our cone, which you do so often now. Should be every time you see a cone, you should always imagine a triangle as well. Its slant height is 15, and the base, its radius is 9, so the base of that triangle is 9. So we can get the height from that. Let's call the height x. Pythagoras' theorem says that 15 squared is x squared plus 9 squared. That's 225 equals x squared plus 81. So x squared is 144, and x then is the square root of 144, which is 12. So this triangle has a height of 12. This cone has a height, perpendicular height of 12. So we can put 12 in for the height. So So the volume, just put those numbers together, and you get 324 pi, or to 2dp, that gives us 1017.87. That would be in centimeters cubed. So starting off that question again, I just went straight into a random approach. Maybe you weren't following, because I just went straight into arc length and y. Well, ultimately we're trying to find the volume, and it's a third pi r squared h. We needed r squared and h. So I needed to use this concept some way to get the radius of that cone, the circle on top and the base of the cone. So there's a lot of information here. What can I find out? I can find out the arc length, which is the circumference. That's useful because the circumference is pi d. So we can get the diameter, we can then get the radius, and then we're flying. In those sort of questions, it's really not obvious how to begin. So I'd recommend just trying to find out something and see if it's useful, see what you can find out, and then go from there. Don't just say I can't do it. Work out something and it might be of value. Okay, finally, number 3. Given that the volume of the frustum is equal to the volume of the sphere, find an expression for r in terms of h. Give your expression in its simplest form. So if we start off with what the question's saying, the volume of the frustum is equal to the volume of the sphere. And then we want to work out what those things are. So for a frustum, we say that it's the volume of the big cone minus the volume of the small cone. Let's work that out. Volume is a third pi times the radius squared, which is just r for the big cone, times the height, which is 2h, minus a third pi, and then this is the small cone we're doing, taking away the area of the volume of the small cone. Its radius is r over 2, so you'd have to put r over 2 in brackets and square it, and then multiply it by its height, which is 1h, or just h. We'll stay with that for a second. This can be tidied up. Just a 2 can bring on top of that 3, and we can write that as 2 pi r squared h divided by 3. The 3 can be just below the 2, or it can be below the whole thing. It basically has to be divided by 3 in the end. The other one, r over 2 squared. Let's do that decide if we're not sure what that is. R over 2 all squared means you're multiplying r over 2 by itself. When we're multiplying fractions, we multiply the numerators together to get r squared, and we multiply the denominators together to get 4. So r over 2 squared is actually r squared over 4. So we'd have pi r squared h over, this would become a 4, and we've got a 3 there, so we'll be dividing by 3 and dividing by 4, which is the same as dividing by 12. Or if you want to think of it another way, what I've done here is r squared over 4 times a third is r squared over 12. Let's consider the right-hand side, the volume of the sphere. The volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, and the radius is just r, so we can literally just write 4/3 pi r cubed. And this is now an equation which we have to solve. Countless ways you can go about this. The first thing I'm going to do is divide everything by pi, because I can see pi is consistent in each term, so it can disappear. It might also be nice just to multiply through by 12. If we do that, that will get rid of all the fractions. If we times 2/3 by 12, we would get 8. So that's 8r squared h. If we times this fraction by 12, the 12 just disappears. So r squared h. And if we times this one by 12, that would give us 16r cubed. Now before I go on, you could also consider these as two fractions to be subtracted. In this case, because I've got rid of the fractions, we can still bring these together. They're both like terms. They are both r squared h's. So if you have 8r squared h minus 1r squared h, you actually have 7r squared h. And let me just remind you as well what we're actually trying to find out here. We're trying to get an expression for r, so we want r equals in terms of h, so our answer will have h in the other side. So what I would do is divide both sides by r squared. So 7h equals 16r. And then I can divide both sides by 16. 7h over 16 equals r. That is an expression for r in terms of h. And finally, just to go back, sorry, in case you disagreed with this one, that should have been rounded to an 8, not a 7.